All right, let's jump right into it. Today we're tackling something pretty exciting. Unit 3, Lesson 4, which is all about daily communication. And listen, we aren't just going to sit here and look at vocabulary lists. We are unpacking the exact framework you'll use to take this language out of your textbook and into your actual daily life. Let's get started.
Here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll map out your language learning journey, then we'll unpack the ACTFL 5Cs, define what the HSK exam actually is, break down those proficiency levels, and wrap it all up by preparing for your real-world application tasks. So kicking things off with Part 1, your language learning journey. Now you might be asking yourself, how does learning a language actually connect culture, identity, and community? Well, that's the whole point, right? This is the absolute heartbeat of Unit 3. When you're learning Chinese, you aren't just swapping out English words for Chinese words. You are learning how people in a totally different part of the world think, how they interact, and how they build their communities. And by doing that, you actually start to shape your own identity as a global citizen. Keep this in the back of your mind as we go, because it really is the ultimate goal of everything we're about to discuss.
Moving right along to Part 2, the ACTFL 5Cs.
Think of these 5 C's as the literal engine driving your ability to chat every day. You've got communication, which is, ordering lunch. Cultures, so knowing how to politely greet a shop owner. Connections is using Chinese to actually read a train schedule. Comparisons is seeing how your morning routine stacks up against a student in Shanghai. And communities, that's taking all these skills and actually using them out in the real world. These are your foundational tools.
Let's zoom in on that comparisons piece for a second. A huge chunk of your application task for this unit is all about putting your daily routine side by side with a Chinese student's routine. I mean, are you grabbing a quick sandwich for the bus ride, or are you sitting down for a hot bowl of noodles? How do students greet their teachers in the morning across different cultures? It's finding these little daily differences that turns boring vocabulary into a real, living bridge between cultures.
All right, Part 3. Let's define the exam. So what exactly is the HSK? Well, it stands for Hanyu Shuiping Kaoshi, which translates to the Chinese proficiency test. Basically, it measures how well you can communicate in everyday life, studying, and working. It's definitely not about passing abstract grammar quizzes. It's about, hey, can you successfully ask for directions, buy groceries, chat with a friend about your weekend plans? It's literally your survival guide for thriving in a Chinese-speaking environment.
That brings us to Part 4, HSK Proficiency Levels Explained.
Under the new HSK 3.0 system, there are 9 distinct levels, and they're broken down into 3 totally achievable tiers. As 7th graders focusing on daily communication, you're going to live right here in the beginner tier, where the goal is simple, effective communication. Eventually, you'll move up to intermediate for fluent work and study, and then advanced for really precise professional fluency. Let's see what that looks like in practice. Starting out in levels 1 through 3, your whole mission is to upgrade from basic survival phrases to actual, effective, everyday communication. By level 3, you're doing it. For this unit, that means going from just saying a basic hello to actually texting a buddy to hang out this weekend or asking a classmate what they had for lunch. It's super rewarding because every single word you learn right now can be used immediately in a real-world scenario. Then, as you level up into the 4 through 6 range, things really start to click. Your communication becomes incredibly fluent, letting you easily handle complex academic stuff and workplace scenarios. You could basically live comfortably entirely in Chinese at this point.
And then there's the peak, levels 7 through 9. This is true mastery. We're talking precise, in-depth fluency for highly specialized professional fields. It's kind of wild to think about, but that's the incredible long-term potential of the pathway you're stepping onto today.
Okay. Finally, Part 5, Real-World Outcomes.
So what does this all mean for your application task in Unit 3? Here's your checklist. First up, identify how you're using those 5 C's we talked about earlier. Second, compare those cultural practices. School schedules, what time people eat, things like that. Third, actually do a real-world task. Maybe record a quick skit where you're ordering food at a restaurant. And finally, take a step back and reflect critically on how successfully you communicated across those cultural lines.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. Learning Chinese is so much more than just passing a test. It's really about building an intercultural identity. When you successfully order your very first meal or send that first text message completely in Chinese, how is that going to reshape your view of the world? It's a total game changer. It's all about navigating the globe with empathy. Good luck tackling those daily communication tasks. You're going to do great. Catch you next time.